Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Societal Narcissism. No contribution with this video. Sorry, I got distracted after working out. I fell down the my X hole, the Trump and Elon, man. Look, this was always the only way that this relationship was ever going to end with these two, because you're dealing with two alphas. Like, you knew it was only a matter of time. I did. Because, look, appreciate Elon's money and all, but he's a Johnny come lately to our side. Like, I've been on this side my whole life. He came on this side after backing Ron DeSantis and no other options, and people started coming after him personally. Then he started backing us, which is fine. But he's an autistic, and he's very emotional, and Trump put up with enough, I guess, of his nonsense, not nonsense, but the barbs we've taken for him, and as my heart goes out to you, not that but it is what it is. This is always how it was going to end with them when you're dealing with personalities like this. It's not surprising. I was just waiting for it. I was just, every time they're on that they were on camera together, like, I was always holding my breath. Always. Like, this is the least surprising thing I have ever seen. And the thing is, in 3 days, it could all blow over. Who knows? Now, now that he's accused Trump of being on the Epstein List, which is just absurd. Like, that is absurd when you think how much bullshit they have thrown at Trump the last 8-10 years. Okay? The nonsense charges, the nonsense investigations, all of it. All of it they've been through, his taxes, they've been through all of it. Do you honestly believe at this point, if he was actually on that list, that shit wouldn't have been leaked long time ago? A long time ago. And don't say, oh, well, it would have exposed other people. Bullshit. You got Ghislaine Maxwell sitting in a federal prison right now. Who went to jail? One name. Give me one name who they trafficked to. One. Epstein definitely killed himself. That's what Bongino said, and I warned you about him. Like, we'll see. But I never understood the appeal of that guy or why he got the credibility he had. I mean, he was NYPD, he was a Secret Service agent. Now to become deputy director, that's a hell of a leap. That is a hell of a leap. You got these children being trafficked every day. All these arrests for child trafficking. All these arrests. Who are they going to? Not one. Where's the end result of this? And what are they talking about? What is the definition of trafficking anyway? It's like one of those terms of being trafficked. Well, okay, what specifically are we talking about when you're being trafficked? Okay, because what I'm concerned about, what we're all concerned about, is these children being sold into some kind of slavery, into some kind of, we know. But what I'm wondering is if being trafficked is like, you're with a relative, or you're just going between state lines. Like, I don't know. See, and the problem is authorities in the government, they're real good at categorizing things to make things look like something that they aren't. But you're talking about hundreds of thousands of children every year being trafficked in the way we all imagine what they're talking about with child trafficking. Who are they being trafficked to? Nobody ever asked these questions. Nobody. Epstein being arrested, killing himself, that whole thing. And now Maxwell being in prison, went for trafficking. To who? To who? Nobody's asking. Well, people are asking, but There's not really that much of a push, is there? So do you really believe, like, they would have been perfectly fine with the hatred they have for Trump since 2015, with the hatred and the disdain and the levels they'll go through, that they will try at least 2 times that we know of to neutralize him, the ultimate neutralization. 2 times that we know of. You honestly believe if they wouldn't have leaked this because they're worried about exposing other people, as if these people wouldn't have been perfectly satisfied at that point, okay, not only on the left, on the, the establishment, the uniparty, whatever you want to call them, the globalists, they would have been perfectly fine being able to pin all of that on him. All of it. He would have been the face of it. That would have been it. If they actually had evidence of that shit, of Donald Trump being part of that whole Epstein bullshit, he'd be the face of it. They wouldn't have tried to indict him on 96 different bullshit charges that nobody could ever explain what they actually are. No. We're living in Orwell. 2 minutes of hate. It would have been perfect. It would have been perfect for your 2 minutes of hate. Blame all their problems on him, this pedophile. Here's the proof of it. Think about the amount of people that the media, the powers that be, in the government, in Hollywood, they're the ones controlling everything. Military. It's not that they outnumber us. It's they're embedded in all of the important positions. They don't outnumber us. They just control all the levers that would expose this, that would light a fire under this. If the media went after the Epstein List, just to give me a quarter of the effort that you put into trying to destroy Trump, it'd be out. You'd be seeing it. They wouldn't be able to run from it. But because they can control the narrative like that, they perfectly could have very well, easily would have made him. They would have solved so many problems for them. I mean, other than what would they be labeling a bunch of conspiracy wackos on the internet about what's the rest of the list, yada, yada. They're controlling the media. They're controlling the social media. They'll debank you. They control it, and they could turn around. They could have easily, if they had the proof, they would have made him the face of the whole Epstein thing. Put a nice little bow on it, and that would have satisfied all the power brokers, all the powers that be. And we could have said, and we could have done nothing about it because we'd have had no voice. So for Elon to go down that road, that's pretty fucked. It really is. And if he really thought that, then why did he have his little kid climbing all over the White House, climbing all over Trump, having Trump walking, really? Really? That says something more about you than Elon. That really does. It says more about Elon. If he really believed that, and brought his young son around Trump, what does that say about Elon? Look, I don't know what it's really about. I know this is over the budget, and I'm not a budget expert, and the budget itself isn't something I worry about. I don't worry about the budget. I worry about, paying the FPL bills, and paying the rent, and paying the bill, and paying the car insurance, like everyone else. The one thing we realized, okay, at least I realized, and I've come to realize here, is that there's plenty of, it's not necessarily the spending. Yeah, the spending's out of control when you look at the number. It's what they're spending it on. They're sending it to all this nonsense, all this bullshit to every other person other than an American citizen, okay, as our infrastructure and our society has crumbled the last 40 years. It isn't the dollars, it's where it's going. And a lot of this is on Congress, again, because they haven't codified anything. Again, Trump is fighting a uniparty. It's Trump and a couple of his cabinet people versus basically everyone else. Because like I told you, the Republicans are cowards, the Republicans are bullshit. They haven't even tried to impeach one of these judges. They haven't even started an impeachment hearing on any of these out-of-control judges. And I've been telling you about the goddamn judiciary for years. I've been screaming about the federal judiciary on this channel for years. And like I said, Newt Gingrich called it out during the 2012. He was the only one during the 2012 primaries when he was way ahead. He was ahead, and all of a sudden, he brought up that we have to look into the impeaching federal judges who refuse to make these crazy rulings, that refuse to follow the Constitution, and then everybody turned on him. Everybody, including Hannity on Fox and that whole O'Reilly, like, you can't do that. And then he capitulated, and he was out of the race a week later. When that was his build the wall issue. He should have doubled down on it and kept talking about it because that's what people wanted to hear. But he got scared and he turned tail and ran, and he got mittens. And people like me, I couldn't even get off the couch to go vote for him. So, I mean, it's Trump versus the world here. And, you know, when you look what's going on overseas, you look what's going on in they refuse, you know, these people refuse to stop killing each other over there. And we got people in our government like Lindsey Graham on ours, like supposedly a Republican, just nonsense. It doesn't matter over there with stolen valor, Blumenthal and Mike Pompeo meeting with Zelensky, and now they're blowing up Russian planes. Like, you guys are going to get everybody killed. And honestly, I'm very surprised at the restraint on some of these nations that we so demonize and vilify. Honestly. We've built these people in the cartoon villains. Oh, if they get a nuke, then that's it. Like, why would they do that? Like, honestly, do you really think they're that anybody's that crazy? Or even our neighbors, like China would allow, and Russia would seriously allow Iran to launch it. Like, that's not going to cause like a nuclear problem for everyone. It's us. Unfortunately, it's the United States. We're the problem. We're the problem. The UK is the problem. Australia's the problem. Canada's the problem. New Zealand's the problem. Germany's a problem. France is a problem. Nice punch in the face, by the way. Again, another couple I called out years ago, Macron and his whatever's going on there. But I called that out years ago. Their video and their thumbnail was the thumbnail to the Societal Narcissism playlist on this channel for years. Until I had to remove the video after Trump lost, and they were just looking the accent. I deleted all my political videos back then. But if you guys remember, I know some of you remember, like, I called those two out. This is a problem. These two are a problem because of what had happened, how whatever's going on there. Okay? He's a victim. He was a victim of a 40-year-old something when he was 15, and everybody's like, yeah, cool, great. Now they're president. Like, no, there's bigger implications for all of this. Like, I saw and look, I'm not pro, believe me, the last thing I am is pro-Iran and pro-Islam or anything like that. But again, here's like the Ayatollah, the supreme leader, he put out a tweet like, who is the United States to tell us what we can do with nuclear enrichment? Like, but honestly, who are we? Like, it is a good question. Who are we to do these things? Like, no, I don't want to. You deal with it over there. And again, this is because we got fucked up in NATO and hooked up with all that nonsense. Like, look, the bottom line is we saved communism. We saved communism, and then we doubled down in it in NATO. Remember, NATO was created to protect Europe from the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union does not exist anymore. And the funny thing, if you're so worried about Russian infiltration, okay, Alger Hiss, okay, if you don't know who he is, look him up. He was Roosevelt's, FDR's like chief of staff, was a Soviet spy. So the Soviets were already infiltrated the United States government before we joined NATO and while we were joining NATO. So NATO in itself was already from its roots infiltrated by the very entity they were supposed to be there. They were formed to protect from. Absurd. Absurd. The whole thing has been a slow walk into Marxism and communism. Boy, did we go down a rabbit hole here. So, look, if Trump ends up being on that list, then, bury him under the prison. Okay? Lock him up, throw away the key. And I'll eat my crow, but no. But if he really is, and they didn't use that against them, they have to be the dumbest. And they're dumb, but nobody's this dumb. Nobody is to humiliate themselves the way they've humiliated themselves, where now those prosecutors are probably going to jail themselves, like Letitia James and Fannie Willis, when they could have just done this. I mean, it is a possibility because when you look at basically the common denominator of the prosecutors that they got to go after them, 2 black females, a black male, and a moron, Jack Smith, who had lost every case he ever had on appeal. Everyone. So maybe it's so they didn't have to. Look what ended up. It's their fault. No. Even still, everybody looks like an idiot. Everybody, look, they would have taken him. That would have solved so many of their problems. If he was actually on that list, that shit would have come out long ago. Because it would have solved so many of their problems, and we'd have we already have Hillary Clinton. She'd be out of office, and who knows where we would have been. My God. My God. So, I'm going to leave it there. All right. So, nothing's come in yet today. Hopefully, hopefully something's, let's get some content in tonight, a little later. So if you want to get something on the channel, you guys know what to do. If you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with either the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and email links in the description box below. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. Also, be sure to subscribe to both my channels on Rumble. Please watch the videos over there, like, share, comment, and subscribe, as I am still monetized on Rumble, and it would help greatly with the growth of the channel and keeping things moving. Follow me on X and Telegram as well. You can follow and like the videos on those platforms too. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Societal Narcissism. Take care, everyone.